ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of the science of worship. In that, we are looking into the demonstration of all the rituals. We have started the whole thing again. So earlier it was all the theory portion. Now we are demonstrating it and also telling the chanting of the mantras and also the significance. So we will continue from where we had left in the last class. We had finished Samanyarghya earlier, the step, and we had finished even the next step, that is Dwara Puja, the worship of the deities of the door, and the Vastu Purusha, Brahmane Namaha, Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, all that thing is over. We are now entering into the next step, that is Bhutapasaranam. Bhutapasaranam, that is protection against obstacles from the spirit. Bhutapasaranam. So will you please chant the name of the step? Chanting that is also important. Ba is Alpa Prana with less energy. Bha is Mahaprana with more energy. So it is called Mahaprana. Then it becomes Bhu. Bhuta. So Ta is Rasva. Ta is Dirgha. So Bhuta. Then Pa. Sa Ra Nam. Bhutapasaranam. So that is the term. That is the step. Bhutapasaranam. What is the meaning of that step in English? Protection against obstacles from the evil spirits or spirits, ghosts and other things. The negative forces are to be chased. So that is the step. Bhutapasaranam. So let me first take you through the significance of doing this, and then I will take you through the process. Why should we do this step? Bhutapasaranam or Vignapasaranam, removal of evil spirits or obstacles, in order that the worship and the various observances connected with it may be performed smoothly and without any obstacles, and in order that the external world made of Pancha Bhuta, 5 elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Teja, Akashat, Vayu, Vayu, Agni, Agnerapah, Apa, Prithvi, Prithivya, Moshadeha. So that these are the Pancha Bhuta, 5 elements. The 5 elements may not present any hindrances. So one prays at the very outset that all the evil spirit, as I explained it to you in the last class, Bhuta has many connotations in Sanskrit. The first one is the 5 elements, Bhuta, Pancha Bhuta, that is the elements. Then the second meaning is Bhuta means the evil spirits or the spirits, ghosts and other things are also called Bhuta. Then the third meaning is all the living beings, any living beings is also called Bhuta. So that's why Lord Shiva is called Bhutapati. It has both the meaning. He is the Bhutanatha, the Lord of all the ghosts and evil spirits. And also another thing is, he is also the Lord of all the living beings. Bhutapati, Bhutanatha. So these are the meanings, different meanings. There may be some other meanings, more meanings. Let us not go into that. Let us concentrate on what we want for this particular step. Bhutapasaranam or Vignapasaranam. So here one prays at the very outset that all the evil spirits be either dismissed or destroyed by the command of Lord Shiva, who is also known as Bhutanatha. Bhutanatha, the Lord of Bhutas. Invoking his grace is also one of the purposes of this ritual. This is clear from the mantra used for the Bhutapasaranam. So now let us go into the ritual mode. First, we have given the significance. Again, in the end, I will give you the inner meaning of that. Now we have come to know why do we do this Bhutapasaranam. Now, the actual ritual, I will take you through that, and then the Swamiji will be performing that particular Bhutapasaranam for you. So, Bhutapasaranam, protection against obstacles from the spirits. What are we to do? Take some rice, akshata. Akshata is kshatratrayate iti akshataha, unbroken rice. Kshatriya, kshatratrayate iti kshata. The kshata means broken. Akshata means not broken. So you have to take rice that is not broken. And the way to prepare akshata is simple. Simplest is just dip it in water, remove the water and keep there. Keep the rice. Just the water should not be dipped and kept as it is, but you should just remove the water, then keep the rice there. That is the easiest method of akshata. See that there are no broken rice in it. The second way is you have to smear all the rice grains with very little ghee or oil. Very little means just you have to just take a pinch of ghee or oil, not much, otherwise it will be too sticky. So very little ghee or very little oil has to be put into that akshata or rice, and then smeared nicely. Don't press it too hard, it will break. Just mix it in a soft way, carefully. Then after that ghee or the oil portion is nicely smeared to all the grains. Again and again I am telling you, very less of the ghee or oil. Then add a pinch of turmeric into that after smearing. If you put first the turmeric, it doesn't stick to the rice. First you have to put the oil or the ghee, clarified butter, very little, and smear it, and then after that you have to put the turmeric. Then it nicely sticks to all portion of the rice. It becomes yellowish, golden in color. That is also called akshata. That is one second way. Third way is you can now mix it with oil, as we told, very little oil or ghee, and then instead of putting turmeric you can put kumkum, vermilion. So that vermilion or kumkum is also a product of turmeric. So when you add in different proportions turmeric and calcium, lime, chun, so then it becomes red in color. Turmeric turns red in color when you mix calcium and this thing. That's a proportion how to prepare that. So that is kumkum. It's also made out of turmeric only, but only color changes because of the addition of the calcium. So that kumkum or that sindoor, whatever that red colored thing made out of turmeric is mixed, then it becomes red in color. That is also akshata. So simple water, remove the water and keep there. That is also akshata. First way. Second way is with turmeric and ghee. The third way is ghee and kumkum, red in color. So whichever you can prepare and keep ready. So now the simplest is rice, just rice. So that also can be kept. Now that's called akshata. You have to take 7 or 8 grains of it so that you can hold it in your hand. It is given there. What is that? Take some rice in the left hand, that is rice is akshata, and covering it with the right, cover it with, I showed you last time, again I can show you that. Take it in the hand, cover it, then do the mantra. The last time I showed you how to do the counting on the fingers, just like Guru has shown. Our Gurudeva will show how to do that mantra counting, like that you can show. So you have to tell the mantra here is Phat. Phat, I also explained earlier, that is use the sound to chase away the negative things. That is the mantra, Bija mantra, one of the Bija mantra to tell is Phat. So 7 times you have to repeat on this rice. And then what is to be done? Taking some rice in the left hand and covering it with the right, repeat Phat 7 times, keeping count on the fingers of the right hand. Then scatter rice on all sides with Naracha Mudra. So what is that mudra? Name of the mudras, it is given there. How to, what is that mudra? Everything is given there. Naracha mudra. So how to take the rice, then place it in Narach mudra. This is Narach mudra. So it is given there. The pictures at different level is given there. So even in the slide you can see the mantra 1 phat into 7 times, mudra Naracha. So that RA is elongated, it should be elongated. It's not Naracha, it is pronunciation should be clear. Ra is elongated, that is Dirgha. Sanskrit, that is the term Raswa and Dirgha. If you repeat any letter, alphabet with only 1 unit of time, that is called Matra, then it is Raswa. If you use 2 unit, it is called Dirgha. If you use 3 and more unit, it's called Pluta. So this is 2 unit, that's why Dirgha. Na, Racha, Mudra. So again here, Na is also Dirgha, 2 units. Ra is also 2 units. Cha. Cha is only 1 unit. So it is Raswa. Na, Racha, Mudra. So Mudra is also again, Dra is also elongated. Dirgha. So then scatter rice on all sides with Naracha Mudra, chanting the following mantras and ringing the bell. So now, what is that mantra? I will repeat that mantra. You can also hear Swamiji doing that in the video. Om Sarva, it is given there in English, you can see the transliteration. Mantra 2, Om Sarva Vignanutsaraya Om Phat Swaha. I'll repeat it again, you can chant it after me slowly. Om Sarva Vignanutsaraya. So you can see Vighna. That means it is Mahaprana. You are using more energy, lung power. So it is Ghna, not Gna. G plus Na becomes Gna. This is Gha plus Na. Mahaprana. Ghna. So Vighna is obstacle. Then Utsaraya is the another word, but when mixed it becomes Vignanutsaraya. Vignat, Utsaraya. That is the, we have to break it. Vignat, Utsaraya. So totally it becomes Sandhi or Samasa, it becomes Vignanutsaraya. Om is the Bija mantra. I have told you to rouse the Kundalini. That Bija mantra is used. So Om, it can be written as H-U-M, U elongated. In English it's very difficult to express the pronunciation. The exact is H-O-O-M, Home. So in English it can become H-O-M-E, home, or whom is the correct pronunciation. H-U-M can become hum also. Very difficult in English. Whatever I might be, I'm pronouncing it whom or whom. Om Sarva Vignanutsaraya Om Phat Swaha. That is the first mantra. Will you repeat it? Om Sarva Vignanutsaraya Om Phat Swaha. Swa and Ha are both elongated. Dirgha. Swaha. Next, the mantra is Om Apasarpantu Te Bhuta Ye Bhuta Bhuvi Samsthitaha Ye Bhuta Vighna Kartaraste Nashyantu Shivagnaya. I am going to teach you the meaning in the end, but now let us concentrate on the chanting and the process of the ritual. In the end I will give you the meaning. Okay. Now we shall chant this second mantra. Om Apasarpantu. Om Apasarpantu Te Bhuta Ye Bhuta. So there Ta is also elongated. Dirgha. Bhuta. Bhuvi Samsthitaha. The next part of the mantra is Ye Bhuta. Vighna, Vighna, Kartaraste, Kartaraste, Nashyantu, Nashyantu, Shivagnaya, Shivagnaya. So this Sha in Sanskrit is Ya, Ra, La, Va, Sha, Sha, Sa. These are the three very similar, but their origin of pronunciation is different. That's why this is the first one. Sha, Ya, Ra, La, Va, Sha. That Sha, first one. So see, when you utter this, it is Sha. Then the next one is Sha. You have to touch the tongue to the upper palate. Murdhanya, it is called Murdhanya Sha. Sha. The first one is Sha. Then the third one is Sa. Sa. Only the tongue. So Sha is touching the teeth. So it is Dantavya. The next one, Sha, is touching the palate or the upper portion of the mouth. That is Murdhanya. That is Murdhanya Sha. Here whatever is used is Nashyantu is the first one. That is the Dantavya. Nashyantu. Shivagnaya. See, there is one special word here. Ga plus na. Ga plus na. Gna. So that has been made into a separate word. Gna. So you can see that in Sanskrit it can be seen. Shivagnya. It is Gnya. Shivagnaya. So the mantra, I will repeat it again. Om Sarva Vignanusarya Hum Phat Swaha. Om Apasarpantu Te Bhuta Ye Bhuta Bhavisamstitaha. Ye Bhuta Vignakartaraste Nashyantu Shivagnaya. Now the whole mantra is over, and this process how to do Bhutapasaranam is also over. First we will see the video now of Bhutapasaranam, how Swamiji will perform it. I have explained it in detail. You can watch it. The mantra also is being chanted. In the end I will show you, I will give you the meaning of the mantra and also significance again. Now please watch it carefully.
Om Sarva Vignanusarya Hum Phat Swaha. Om Apasarpantu Te Bhuta Ye Bhuta Bhavisamstitaha. Ye Bhuta Vignakartaraste Nashyantu Shivagnaya.
Ritual, you have to wash your hands with that Samanya Arghya water into that cup or the plate which is kept for using the wastewater, putting into the wastewater into that. So before starting any new part of the puja or at the ending of the step, you have to wash your hands. It indicates that you have done it, you have finished that thing, or it is indicating that you are purifying your hands with Ganga water or Samanya Arghya water before starting the new process. So once you have to cleanse your hands. You could see that after in the end of this thing, that cleaning of the hands was shown. Okay. Now let me take you through the significance or deeper meaning of this, and also the what do you call the meaning of that mantra. Bhuta Apasaranam, driving away the evil spirits. So now here we are using Naracha Mudra. Naracha Mudra was shown how to do this Naracha. I also explained in the last class that when you are pulling the arrow, you do the like. That's fine. Pulling the arrow. That's the indication of the arrow using mudra. So Naracha mudra means, Naracha means an arrow. The meaning of Naracha is arrow. The finger held in that particular form signifies the releasing of the weapon or the arrow. The scattering of rice is meant to destroy and drive away the forces of evil with these arrows. So also the purpose of ringing the bell. So we are ringing the bell. So there is a mantra, special mantra for ringing the bell too. Agamartantu devanam, gamanartantu rakshasam, kurve ganta nadam. So why are we ringing the bell? What is the significance of ringing the bell? The pealing sound of the bell creates that Om sound. So when you ring the bell, Agamartantu devanam, it is for the sake of invitation, for the coming of the gods, good forces. Gamanartantu rakshasam. So it is for chasing away or for the running away of the evil spirits like demons. Rakshasam means demons, ghosts, all the other evil spirits. They can't bear to hear the bell sound. The pealing sound of the bell is irritating them. So that's why they keep bell in the house and ring in the house. They take it everywhere in the house and ring the bell. Because the moment they hear the bell, the ghosts, the evil spirits, they cannot withstand that sound. They run away. So ringing of the bell is also indication to chase away the evil spirits and rakshasas and demons. It is invitation to gods and goddesses, the good spirits. So that is the meaning of that mantra, Agamartantu devanam, gamanartantu rakshasam. So ringing the bell also will chase away the evil spirits and ghosts. And the mantra, the rice is held in Naracha mudra, that is arrow, releasing. So you are releasing the arrow and chasing away all the evil spirits, ghosts and negative forces with the mantra. Now we shall come to so the purpose of ringing up the bell is also for the same. While scattering the rice, we have to repeat the mantra. What is that? Sarva, all. Vignanut saraya, that is Vignan Utsaraya. That is how it is broken. Vignan Utsaraya. So drive away all obstructions, vignas. That is the meaning of Sarvan. Sarva means all. Vignan Utsaraya. Then what is the next part of the mantra? Apasarpantu. So all vignas, all the evil spirits, all the negative spirits, apasarpantu means may they go away. See, Om Sarva Vignanutsarya, Om Phat Swaha. Then the next mantra is Om Apasarpantu. So Apasarpantu means may the evil spirits, the negative forces, the demons, they go away. Te Bhuta, those forces, creatures. Ye Bhuta, which creatures? Bhuvi, on the earth. Samstitaha are found, those evil spirits, those rakshasas, those negative forces which are present above the ground, above the earth. Ye Bhuta, which creatures? Vigna Kartaraha, which are causing obstacles. So that I am telling you, breaking the mantra and also giving the meaning of it. What is the second part of the mantra? Om Sarva Vignanutsarya Om Phat Swaha. Explain that. Then Om Apasarpantu Te Bhuta Ye Bhuta Bhuvi Samstitaha. I have explained that. Then the next portion of the mantra is Ye Bhuta Vigna Kartaraste Nashyantu Shivagnaya. So Ye Bhuta, which creatures or evil spirits or the ghosts causing obstacles, Vigna Kartaraha. Te Nashyantu. Te means they. May they perish. Nashyantu means destroyed, get destroyed or perish. Shivagnaya, by the command. Agna means command. Shiva, Shiva's command. By the command of Shiva. May all the evil forces found on the earth go far away. May those evil forces which cause disturbances be destroyed by the command of Shiva. Whatever creatures are there in the form of ants or some other insects, they are also Bhuta. So by the command of Lord Shiva, is the Lord of all the living beings. So let them go away. But those living beings or creatures or evil spirits, the negative spirits which are causing obstacles, they are problem creators or problem makers. So such evil spirits get destroyed, perish. Those who are not causing, all that should go away. Any negative spirit, any negative forces should be chased away. May all the evil forces found on the earth go far away. Then those evil spirits or the creatures which are causing destructions and trouble and obstacles, they get destroyed by the command of Lord Shiva. That is the meaning. So you got the meaning of Bhuta Apasarana. So when you utter and spread that rice, you're taken as the akshata rice dipped with ghee and turmeric. They will have now special smell of the turmeric and the ghee and the rice also. When you spread all over the area, what happens? First is that is taken as the akshata is taken as the arrows, as the arm. Then you are releasing that weapon, the Naracha arrows, through the Naracha mudra. So all the things are destroyed. The second significance is, now because of the rice spread over, so which creatures were there, maybe under your asana or wherever you are sitting, some insects may be there, some ants may be there which may bite you or do something harm to you. So all that, getting the smell of this thing, they go away to eat that. So your area where you are doing puja is clear. So both ways you can take. So we have now completed first the way is to be done, the mantras and everything and the slide, and now the video is also done. We will go to the next step. After that is Bhumi Shuddhi. The next process is Bhumi. As the term indicates, the next step, Bhumi means earth, Mother Earth. Bhumi. Shuddhi means purification. So after Bhutapasaranam, it's the Bhumi Shuddhi, purification of the ground. So now it's a very simple process. I will take you through that process. Purification of the ground, taking a little water in the right palm. Allow it to seep and fall on the ground through the fingers of the fist using Goyoni Mudra in front of the asanam. During this process, chant the mantra. I showed you last time Goyoni Mudra. So this portion is Goyoni Mudra. Taking water first into the palm, then take the Goyoni Mudra, then in front of the asana do it. Now the Swamiji will be demonstrating it. So I have shown you the Mudra, Goyoni Mudra. Then also now the mantra, what is to be chanted at that time is, I will go through the process again. Purification of the ground, taking a little water in the right palm, take little water in the right palm. Which water? From the Samanya Arghya, which is Amrutikarana has been done, which is turned nectarine. What is nectarine? Amrita, consciousness into Paramatman. So when you put that on the ground also becomes, now we'll be looking as consciousness, God. So that is the idea, Shuddhi. Taking little water in the right palm, allow it to seep and fall on the ground, like this, press it in the Goyoni Mudra through the fingers of the fist. Using Goyoni Mudra in front of the asana. That is, asana is the cotton or made out of some other material which is non-conductor of heat. It may be also wood asana, from the wood, the plate like thing that will be made in the rectangular shape or the squarish shape. It will be a little above the ground, so that the ground is not in directly contact with you, because it is a bad conductor, it is a non-conductor of electricity. When you sit on the ground directly, when you are meditating, when you are doing puja, and when you are uttering the mantras, now special energy will be created in your body, it should be preserved. Special forces and good energies will be created in your mind, in your body. That's very congenial, good for you, this thing. If you're directly sitting on the ground, because the ground is a earthing agent, absorbing, just like the lightning and other things are absorbed into the ground, grounding. Even in the electricity process, while they are building the houses, electrical connection, they will give one wire going to the ground. So that is called grounding. Even when the computers and other electrical appliances are there, they will ask you, is the grounding done properly? Otherwise, there will be electric shock coming to the computers even. So that grounding process. So the earth is the very good conductor. It absorbs all the forces. That's why if you sit directly, when you are doing meditation or when you are doing japa or this puja, special energy or forces are created in your body, which is very good. It has to be preserved. So if you directly sit on the ground, all that energy will be absorbed, earthed, it will take away into the ground. So you have to sit on the asana, some thick cloth material, cotton material, should be not be plastic or something which are again bad, not good one. Generally in olden days they used to use the skin of the deer or the tiger or the lion or the deer, which are very good, the deer skin. But nowadays the forest department, you have to take the permission of the forest department and you should have the receipt or you may be arrested. So better use the safe one, non-conductor, either the wood asana or on the wood also, or directly you can put the cotton one. If it is too thin, again you are in direct contact with the ground. The important thing is you should not be, your body, any part of the body should not be in direct contact with the ground. That is the idea, because the energy will flow away and it will be a loss. Nothing is going to happen, but that energy will not be conserved in your body. That is the idea. That's all. So asana thick, you can fold lot of cotton, this thing which is used for puja, all and sundry clothing should not be kept your which is used for bed sheet or night sleeping or sitting relaxing, that it should be specially for puja. Any cotton cloth or good cloth which is a non-conductor can be put. That is the idea. But generally there are things called asana. Wooden asanas are also used in traditional houses. Old people, they are using this tiger skin or the deer skin. So such skins are also used. But now cotton is safe cloth. Okay, now in front of the asana, as that water has to be asanam. During this process you have to chant the mantra. What is the mantra? Om Raksha Raksha Om Phat Swaha. Will you please repeat that mantra? Om Om Raksha 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 Om. I have told earlier the Om is the Bija mantra to arouse Kundalini. Phat is to chase away all the bad spirits or bad things there. Swaha Swaha Om Raksha Raksha Om Phat Swaha. What is the step of the name of the step? Bhumi Shuddhi. Again, Bhu is Mahaprana, using more energy. Bhu, Mi, both are Hrasva, 1 unit of time. Bhumi Shuddhi. Sha is the first one, Dantavya. Shu, but Dhi is Sayuktakshara. 2 the and E is there. The plus E. So it becomes not D, but it is Di. So there is the Mahaprana Dha and Alpaprana Dha and E. So it becomes Dhi. So you should to stress it. Sayuktakshara means it has to be stressed. So it's not Shuddhi, it is Shuddhi. It should be stressed because 2 letters are there. 2 alphabets together with Sayukta, Yuktakshara. So that to be shown by pressing it. Shuddhi. That is the way. Bhumi Shuddhi. Pronunciation of that process is learnt. Then the mantra Om Raksha Raksha Om Phat Swaha. We shall now go to see the video. Please, now the the video of that thing. Swamiji will show you how to perform this.
Om Raksha Raksha Hum Phat Swaha.
Put that on the ground in front of the asana by telling Om Raksha Raksha Hum Phat Swaha in the Goyoni Mudra. So now in that Bhumi Shuddhi Om Raksha Raksha Hum Phat Swaha, what are we doing? What is the inner significance of this process? By this act, we are sanctifying the ground of the worship by sprinkling the consecrated water of the Samanya Arghya. The general Arghya was prepared, the water was invoked from all the 7 rivers from the solar orb. Then we worshipped it, and then through the Ankusha Mudra we did that. Then we showed the Matsya Mudra, then Dhenu Mudra to make it Amrutikarana, nectar like. So the Samanya Arghya water is used for all other purification process. So when you sprinkle that on the ground through the Goyoni Mudra, so the ground becomes purified. That's the idea. By this act of Bhumi Shuddhi, we are sanctifying the ground on which we are sitting, and we are performing the puja, all that place, the ground of worship, by sprinkling the consecrated water of the Samanya Arghya. So we are having also that Prokshana, that group of Kushagra grass are tied with that red thread, cotton thread, and kept there. Swamiji, for all the other things, the sprinkling is done, but here it was done with the hands, that's all. So chanting the above mantra, we do taking the water from the Samanya Arghya, we do the Bhumi Shuddhi, purification of the earth. Now do you remember in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, whenever people with sinful tendencies, they are very bad sinners, they would come to the room and sit there. Ramakrishna could see that they are very bad in nature, so that will make the ground impure where they are sitting. So to purify the place where they would sit, when sinful men would come, Sri Ramakrishna would sanctify the place by sprinkling Ganga water over that place. So you have observed in the life of Ramakrishna or the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you can see that. So here, whatever impurity is there in the ground will be purified. First of all, that is Ganga water. Then secondly, that is all the 7 rivers from the solar orb has been invoked into that. And thirdly, we have made it into Amrita, consciousness. God consciousness is filled in that, and that water is poured. So everything has become God. That is the idea. It's not the sin portion, but it is the purification processes. That is negative, removal of sin. Positive is how to remove the sin by thinking of positive thing, that is consciousness, making the ground, looking at the ground with the idea of consciousness, turning it into God. It's not the ordinary ground on which you are sitting. It is God and God alone. Everything it is God. So consciousness. Next process, we have now learned the significance, inner significance, the process, the theory. Everything has been done. Chanting of the mantra, meaning of the mantra is over. Now we are going to the next step, that is after the Bhumi Shuddhi. The next step is Asana Shuddhi. Just now we told what is asana, and I have explained about why should we use the asana, to conserve the energy produced. Otherwise, like earthing, all the electrical energy will go into the ground. The ground is a absorber of all energy. So that's why you should not sit on the bare ground. You can see the asana picture is given. We'll show you the slide. In that slide you can see the asana picture is given. And you can see also in the video Swamiji sitting on the asana. It may be wooden asana, it may be the cloth asana, but it should be thick so that your feet and other things on the thing you sit, it should not be touching the ground. That is the idea. So now that asana is to be purified. The purification of the seat, it is SEAT, seat, but the mistake has been done. It is sheet, it is not sheet. Okay, it can be also sheet of cotton, but it is seat, S-E-A-T, seat. Asana means seat. So the slide and the mantra all transliterated into English has been given. So asana shuddhi. A is dirgha, a sa is hrasva. Asana shuddhi, purification of the seat. On the ground, in front of the asana on which we are sitting, draw a triangle. You can see the picture, and the triangle is also given there in front of the asana. On the ground in front of the asana, draw a triangle with the right ring finger dipped in water. Worship this triangle with a flower touched with sandal paste. So take the flower, touch it to the sandal paste, and worship, saying the triangle Om Hrim Ete Gandha Pushpe Adhara Shaktyadibhyo Namaha. So with that mantra you have to worship that triangle. Then crossing the hands, touching the asana, saying Om Asya Asanopaveshana Mantrasya Meru Prushta Rushihi Sutalam Chandaha Kurmo Devata Asanopaveshane Vinyogaha. So that mantra has to be chanted. Next, chant with folded hands now. Another mantra for Mother Earth. What is that? Om Prithvitvaya Dhruta Loka Devi Tvam Vishnana Dhruta Tvancha Dharayamam Nityam Pavitram Kuruchasanam. Then the next process is drawing a triangle over the asana. Earlier it was in front of the thing. Now you have to write the triangle over the edge of the asana, on the asana itself. Drawing the triangle over the asana, worship it with a flower and sandal paste, saying the mantra Hrim Ete Gandha Pushpe Adhara Shaktaye Kamalasanaaya Namaha. Now we shall learn to chant the mantras. We have seen the process now. I will take you through the chanting of the mantra. First of all, this process or the step is called Asana Shuddhi. That DDHI you see, Shuddhi, Sanyukta Akshara. The first thing is Dha, then Alpa Prana Da, then E. There are three things. The consonant Dha, another consonant Da. The first one is Mahaprana, more energy, Dha. Second one is less energy, Da. Then vowel E. All these three are mixed, so it becomes Dhi. The stress is there. Shuddhi. Asana Shuddhi. So purification of the seat. Did you repeat it? Learn the chanting. Asana. Please repeat it. Asana Shuddhi. Shuddhi. Okay. The first mantra is Om Hrim. See, H-R-I elongated M we could have given, but we have given it as H-R-E-E-M. So it is Hrim. Dirgha is there, or elongation. It is not Hrasva. Hrim. It is Hrim. Om Hrim. The nasal sound, it can also stay at the nose. Hrim or Hrim. When you end and stop there, it becomes Hrim. And when you are still going to the next word, the next letter will influence the chanting of the nasal sound. So it can be chanted as Hrim if you stop it, or Hrim, or it will be influenced by the next letter. That is the way of chanting the Anunasika. Om Hrim Ete. A is always, A is elongated. Dirgha. A. Ete. That means this. Hrim is the single syllable Bija mantra of Divine Mother or Shakti. Om Hrim ete gandha pushpe. So gandha and pushpa together, two things. What is that? Flower, one flower, and gandha is the sandal paste. So touched with that, it becomes dvivachana. In Sanskrit we have not only the singular and plural, in between we have, if there are two, only two, it becomes dvivachana. If it is only one, it is singular, ekavachana. If there are two, it is dvivachana. If there are three and above, it is bahuvachana, plural. So Sanskrit, this is the speciality. Nowhere can you find this dvivachana. So now, example, lava, kusha. There are two, lava, kusha, yoho. So here gandha, pushpa, both are there. So gandha, pushpe. That a, pushpe, it becomes the dvivachana. So now, Om, Hrim, please chant it. Om, Hrim, Ete, Ete, Te also is elongated. Dirgha. Ete, Gandha Pushpe, Gandha Pushpe, Adhara Shaktyadibhyo. Adhara, Dha is Mahaprana, Dha, and elongated. Adhara, Adhara, Shaktyadibhyo, Shaktyadibhyo Namaha. Om, Hrim, Ete, Gandha Pushpe, Adhara Shaktyadibhyo Namaha. That is the first mantra. We have learned the chanting. We'll go to the next second mantra. Then crossing the hands, touch the asana, saying how to cross the hand, how to touch the asana, that will be shown in the video afterwards. The mantra is Om Asya Asanopaveshana Mantrasya. Om Asya Asanopaveshana. Asana Upaveshana becomes Asanopaveshana. It is translated into English, both all the mantras there. So on the screen, Om Asya Asanopaveshana Mantrasya Meru Prushta Rishihi, Meru Prushta Rishihi Sutalam Chandaha Kurmo, Kurmo elongated, Kurmo Devata, Kurmo Devata Asanopaveshane, that is broken into Asana Upaveshane, together it becomes Asanopaveshane Viniyogaha, Viniyogaha. We'll again repeat both the mantras. Om Hrim Ete Gandha Pushpe Adhara Shaktyadibhyo Namaha. Mantra second. Om Asya Asanopaveshana Mantrasya Meru Prushta Rishihi Sutalam Chandaha Kurmo Devata Asanopaveshane Viniyogaha. Then the next mantra, we are going to the next slide. The mantra 3, Om. We have to do this chant with folded hands. There you can see the picture also, folded hands. Om Prithvi. Mother Earth is called Prithvi. It's not first Tha, it is Mahaprana, Tha. So Tha plus Va plus E. Tha, Va, E. Thvi. Prithvi. Om Prithvi. Tvaya. Om Prithvi. Tvaya. Dhrita. It is not Dhr. It is Mahaprana. Dhr. Dhrita. Dhrita. Loka. Loka. Devi. Devi. Tvam or Tvang. Vishnuna. Vishnuna. Dhrita. Tvancha. See here, Tvam is there, Anuswara. Separately chanted, it becomes ending it Tvam or Tvang. But since the next letter is Cha, Chavarga, so Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nya. That is the Anunasika, the nasal listing of that Varga. Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nya. The Dantavya with the teeth. So the chanting of Tvam will become Tvancha. Cha cha ja ja nya is to be chanted there. Tvancha. Tvancha dharaya. Dharaya. Mam. Nityam. Tvancha dharaya mam nityam. Pavitram kuru. Now, if it is chanted separately, pavitram, it will stop, or pavitrang. But since the next letter is ka, so it's anunasika. What is that? Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. So that nga has to be pronounced here. How? Pavitrang kuru. It should neither be pavitram kuru, it should nor be pavitrang, but it is kaka gaga nga, pavitrang kuru. That is the chanting. The next letter, if it is Vargiya Vyanjana, that will influence the chanting of Anuswara, the previous one. Pavitrang kuru chasanam, chasanam. I'll chant this together. Om prithvitvaya dhruta loka devitvam vishnuna dhruta tvancha dharaya mam nityam pavitrang kuru chasanam. Now, drawing a triangle over the asana, worship it with the flower and sandal page, saying the next mantra chanting Hrim ete gandha pushpe adhara shaktaye Kamalasanaya Namaha. Will you please chant it? Hrim ete gandha pushpe adhara shaktaye Kamalasanaya Namaha. So shall I chant it together? Hrim ete gandha pushpe adhara shaktaye Kamalasanaya Namaha. So we have completed the chanting of the mantra and the process, the ritual. We will go to the demonstration now. Swamiji will show you how to do this, okay? And after that I will give you the significance.
Om Hrim Ete Gandhapushpe Adhara Shaktyadibhyo Namaha. Om Asya Asanopaveshana Mantrasya Mevu Prashtarshih Sutalam Chandah Kurmo Devata Asanopaveshane Viniyogah. Om Prithvitvaya Dhrita Loka Devi Tvam Vishnuna Dhrita Tvam cha dharyamam nityam pavitram kuruchasanam. Hrim ete gandhapushpe adhara shaktaye kamalasanaya namaha.
So now you have seen the process, the demonstration of how to do the asana shuddhi. I gave you the mantra chanting, then the mantra was meant to be repeated by you, and we have seen the demonstration. We are now going into the significance of this asana shuddhi. Then in the next class, because already we have completed the time, in the next class I will be telling you the meaning of the mantra and deeper meaning of that. Okay, now we are just going through the significance. Asana shuddhi, purification of the seat. We have already seen that the purpose of purification is to divinize, to make everything God, to see God in everything. And it is only the divine aspect of the thing purified that is prominent in the mind of the worshipper. The mantra used for the asana shuddhi is a prayer to the earth goddess Bhumi or Prithvi, O goddess of the earth. All the worlds, what are the worlds? Bhuhu is Prithvi, Bhumi. In Gayatri mantra we tell Bhur Bhuvasvaha. So Bhuhu, Bhuhu, Bhur. And the next word is Bhuvaha, we add Bhur. Visarga is taken away, it becomes Arkara. When the Visarga is taken, when the Arkara is taken, it becomes Bhuhu. Bhuhu means Prithvi. So Prithvi is the center and it is supporting 6 lokas above and 7 lokas below. What are the 6 lokas above? After Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Tapaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Satya, like that, 6 lokas. So 7 lokas. All that is supported or carried by Bhumi. Other nether worlds, Atala, Pitala, Patala, Rasatala, Talatala, all that 7 worlds are the nether worlds. So the upper, higher worlds and the nether worlds are supported by this Prithvi, Bhumi. So Prithvi is worshipped with that mantra. What is that? O goddess of the earth, Prithvi, all the worlds, the 6 above and yourself and the 7 below, nether worlds. All the worlds are supported by you. And who is supporting you? And you in turn are supported by Vishnu. You can see Mother Vishnu was protected by, Mother Prithvi or earth was protected by Vishnu's avatara, Varaha, that boar, wild boar avatar. Why did he take that form? Because the brother of Hiranyakashipu, elder brother, Hiranyaksha, he was taking away the Bhumi, took that Prithvi and was trying to hide it, taking somewhere and hide it in the sea or ocean. So then Vishnu took the form of the wild boar avatara, Varaha avatara, and killed that demon and protected Mother Earth, and he placed it on his lap. So he is supporting the Bhumi. The Prithvi is supporting all the worlds, 14 worlds including her. Then who is supporting Mother Earth, Prithvi? It is Lord Vishnu. So the mantra is telling, O goddess of earth, all the worlds are supported by you and you in turn are supported by Vishnu, the all-pervading reality. Vishnu means Vishildro Vyapnoti. What is meant by Vyapnoti? All-pervading is Vishnu. So the all-pervading reality is Vishnu, is supporting you. Please be gracious enough to support me. I am sitting on you now on the asana. So you are supporting me also. Not only you are supporting all the 7 worlds, I have to walk and sit and everything I have to do on you. You are the mother who are supporting me too. So, O Prithvi, Mother Earth, you are supporting all the 7 worlds. You are supported by Lord Vishnu, all-pervading reality. Please be gracious enough to support me always. May I never move away from your lap. Please purify my seat where I am sitting and make it steady and firm. Please also purify the seat of my heart. Therefore, there is another interesting point to be considered in this connection. According to some, a kind of electric current, I told you because of the asana, is usually generated in the body at the time of sadhana, while you are doing worship, while you are doing japa, while you are doing meditation. Some special energies are created like electric current, not exactly electric, like maybe magnetic power, electromagnetic power, electrochemical magnetic power, whatever. So some special energy is created while you are meditating or doing japa or doing puja. So to preserve that, we are using asana. So there is another interesting point to be considered in this connection. According to some, a kind of electric current like energy is usually generated in the body at the time of sadhana, any sadhana, meditation, japa, puja, or thinking of God. One is enjoined to use for worship a seat made out of kusha grass, special dry kusha grass, not wet kusha grass, or a deer skin, or a cloth on top of it. All 3 also can be used, wooden also can be used, all 3 or 1, whatever, according to your convenience or availability. If one sits on such a seat with one's spinal cord erect, the flow of electricity in the body becomes easy and the earthing effect through the contact with the ground is avoided. That's why we use asana. Direct contact of the body to the earth is avoided. So direct contact through the ground is avoided for these materials having a high dielectric constant are bad conductors of electricity. So you came to know why we are using asana, not directly sitting on the ground. Wood, deer skin, kushagrass asana or cotton asana, they are all having a high dielectric constant, so they are bad conductors of electricity, so you will be safe. Energy generated in your body will be preserved. So that is the asana shuddhi, significance, purification of the seat. We will in the next class, because we have already completed our time, in the next session Monday we will be looking into the deeper meaning of this step and also the meaning of the mantra, all the 3 mantras which we have chanted. Okay. Om Priyatam Pundarikakshah Sarvayajneshwaro Harihi Tasmin Tushte Jagat Tushtam Predite Preditam Jagat. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.